It's 1 week before the release of Signs of Wings, our first album, and I thought we make a little countdown with like one video every day until the release. 5 days to go. Finally, today was the day I could pick up the first 2 guitars, like prototypes of the model that I'm working out together with the DUESENBERG guys, especially with Ingo. I have to say, I'm totally thrilled. It's so cool. And they made a couple of prototypes, and I took 2 guitars home for like further testing that are like absolutely the same technically, except the wood. So it's different wood. They totally sound amazing, both of them, but different. One is really more MIDI, I would say, and one is thicker in a way, but I guess it's really depending on what you want to do with it. I mean, I think I would even go for the more MIDI one, especially for live. So it's just like, has like a different type of sustain, especially for lead playing. And yeah, for everybody that is a little bit more into clean sounds, or like big clean sounds, like, I don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan or something like this, because this is absolutely something you can get out of these guitars as well. Would maybe go for this other wood, but we still didn't decide yet, because both are sounding wonderful. Now we're talking about details and possible changes, but I have to say, so far, I'm so happy. I mean, it looks wonderful, doesn't it? Beautiful. The idea for the whole thing was just a coincidence in a way, because I was always thinking, I mean, already back in the day when I got the first Outlaw, I thought like, oh, this is wonderful, I love it, it feels so good. It would be so cool to have this in red as well, like a red artificial leather would be super cool. And we talked about it, and he said like, hey, they looked around already for different colors, and it's hard to find something that you can really stick to a guitar. And but it never got out of my head to have a guitar in red as well, because I just like it. I had a talk with Ingo from DUESENBERG and came up with that again, and he said like, yeah, we searched for it already, but we don't find it. And I thought like, should I take a look? And then I was just searching the web for leather, I mean artificial leather, and I found some stuff, sent it to him, and he liked it a lot. And then he just said, you know what, we ordered it and we're gonna check it out. And I said, oh, very cool, super cool. And then we said, it's a while ago that we met, so don't you want to just come by and we check some stuff and talk a little bit. And that's what I was doing. So I went to their place and met with Ingo, and we were sitting there talking about eventually putting this skin on a guitar. And I thought about putting it on a guitar that I'm basically already playing. But then I saw this prototype of another guitar, not exactly like this, but similar to this. And I played it, and it was so cool sounding. It was maybe a little bit raw the way it was made. I really totally liked the shape of it as well. He said, yeah, you can have a shape however you want it. And I said, like, you mean I can choose a shape? And he said, yeah, of course, we're gonna do you the guitar that you want. Then it, somehow came to my mind that he's gonna make a guitar for me, which is obviously great, and I didn't really think about this beforehand. Yeah, and then suddenly we were working on a guitar together that is more or less my guitar, or like my model, so to say. That was obviously an honor and really great. And the basis for this was this a little bit like the shape was a little bit this prototype that was there already. We just changed a little bit the shape of it, and put a shaping on here, and it was completely different here. It had a different tremolo, and but basically it was the basis for what we started working on. And I just said, I totally like this special for playing live. There's a certain feel to it that makes it easy to play, and also it's a really good rock guitar in a way. And why don't we just put the neck of this one, or actually he suggested, let's just put the neck on this one, on this body, and with this type of wood and this type of wood, and then we said, yeah, that's cool, and that's what we actually did. I mean, you can see it. This is the a regular neck. If you know the special, it looks like this, more or less. And then we were sending stuff back and forth. He sent me pictures already out of the computer, and in the end, I just knew it from pictures for like a couple of weeks or months, because we were touring in between. I was super hot on checking the guitar, and he said like, oh, it sounds so good and it looks so good and it hangs so good, and I was like, shit, I have to come by. I couldn't. But now I went there today and I'm blown away, because it's really spot on, like I said before, totally spot on, and I just love it. It's just very hard to choose now which one to prefer, because they're just different in the wood, but it depends on the occasion, I would say. I love them both. We thought about, actually I thought about it, one more volume knob, like on a Les Paul type of guitar, because I was used to play a clean sound and distorted sound with one sound. So that means just by switching to the neck pickup, you can have the clean sound, but this is only possible when you have a separate volume control, and that's the reason we put it in here, and because it doesn't really fit here anymore, and it's not something where you constantly have your fingers on. The guys were super clever and smart and put it here, and it goes sideways, and and it's a pretty long way for adjusting, so you can do that pretty accurate. And I tried it already. You don't really touch it actually, and this is great. So I don't have an amplifier connected at the moment, but you can really go, if you have like a highly distorted sound with a very dynamic amp. That doesn't work with every amp, but with a good amplifier it does work. You have a basically clean sound when you switch here, and then you just switch like that and you have a full distorted sound, and that is really comfortable, I think. Another little feature is this knob here. It's a kill switch. Everybody knows what a kill switch is. And this is also something you can do with a Les Paul type of guitar, but I love the Strat type. That's the problem. I love them both, but I prefer the Strat thing here, and like the whole thing like it was, it's wonderful, but I missed the possibility of doing like the kill switch sound, which you also usually do with the volume up all the way down, and with that, and to avoid that I have to do this and keep the possibility for my clean sound, I have the kill switch here, so you can do this stutter effect, which is rarely used, but sometimes you want it, and then it's good to have it. And also have I love this vibrato system, tremolo system. It's wonderful. I didn't play tremolo anymore for years. Back in the day I was using a Floyd Rose, and like in the Floyd Rose way, and I never really used it for stuff like this, but now I use it all the time, even inside of my solo playing and melodies and stuff, as an additional vibrato that you can do in spots where you can usually have a hard time doing it, and got so used to it, and I love this sound of this vibrato that I need this on every guitar now. So of course this guitar has this as well. And yeah, I was playing this Outlaw Star Player TV for years, and I was also playing this the Special, and this is a little bit of a mixture of both of them, at least on this prototype, and I think it's gonna stay like this pickup wise. So this is a P90 style from the Outlaw, or like from the Star Player, and this is from the Special. It's the pickup that is in the Special, and yeah, it's great because it has a little bit more gain, which is good for the high gain sounds, obviously. And this is really a really cool, clean pickup. Not only clean, but especially clean. It's really, I can really go to a punchy, almost Strat type of sound, but just a little bit bigger than a Strat in a way. It has a lot of twang anyways, and yeah, it's great. Yeah, little feature also here. That was Ingo's idea actually, or somebody's idea, not mine, but I wouldn't have thought of it, but they put this little thing in here that makes it easier to access the high frets, and it's actually super comfortable. I wouldn't have asked for it, but now that it's there, I love it. I have to say, it's really cool. I love this. It's not a color. I mean, it's just, this is like real. It's like fabric, you know, it's like a fake snake leather, and I think it's just beautiful. It's a little bit vintage, modern, in between type of thing. I mean, the first, a lot of like 60s guitars have this, let's say, artificial leather top on there, and this is a little bit like, yeah, late 60s or and 50s thing. Like Höfner had some, like the basses especially like this, and I always liked it, and I really liked the feel of it. And it's the same feeling that you have on an Outlaw, for example, that is just black. This is a little bit more raw in a way, but it's just bigger. What I don't know what the name of this is, but flakes. I think it also sounds a little bit different because I have like not only this Outlaw, I have also others with like regular, that are just painted, and they totally sound different. Not saying they sound worse, but this is just a different sound, and I just like it, and I like the feel of it. It's just so smooth and warm, and feels natural. It's like skin to skin. Yeah, I love this guitar. Thank you very much, Duesenberg. That was really a very, very big pleasure to work with so nice people on such a bass, and I never expected something like this actually happening to me. But now it did, and I'm really thankful, I have to say. It even says Sascha Paeth prototype. Yeah, I would say check them out as soon as they're available. Not yet.